Good morning. So I think it's the 30th of March. I know it's Wednesday. I had a really rough day yesterday, so I feel like time has sped up but then stayed still. It's a very weird sensation. It very much reminds me of when I lived with my grandma when I was in 5th grade. And I didn't really go to school that year. I had a lot of health issues. And I know that year has always felt very strange in time in my life. And the second time that happened to me is when I lived at National Jewish. Again, health problems. And again, I know that I was there about 6 months, I think, but it feels like I was there a lot longer than that. So being in isolation, being in quarantine can be tricky. It can play tricks on your head. So today is day 10 of quarantine. I watched numerous YouTube videos last night of some of my favorite costumers that I am in a group with. And most of them are kind of in that position where they either don't have regular jobs and this is their job, doing YouTube channel videos, or they have been sent home, so they have all this time. I am one of those odd ones in that group that I work full-time, and when I went into quarantine at work. So I don't have the same luxuries that they do. And I'm having to find my way around figuring this out. So yesterday was a very emotionally taxing day, and I actually took the afternoon off and came into my 12 by 12 room and took a nap, and it was wonderful. I can't do that every day, but it did help, and then I slept well last night, which helps. But today is Wednesday, and I think the reason I'm telling you all of this is that I want you to know that, you're, whatever circumstance you're in, whatever kind of isolation or quarantine or social distancing you're doing, or are you stuck in a house with 6 kids, or is it just you and your partner? We're all struggling with this new world in one way or another. And some people are really reveling in it, and that's great. I've never been a person to not work. So when a crisis hits, I work. That's just the way it works for me. And in this case, literally. Today's theme: how does your present way of life need to change? Which I think is really interesting, because the way our lives were a month ago versus the way our lives are today is different. Nationally, it's different. Every state is doing their own thing. Our national and federal government are talking their own thing. And we're led by a demographic of people that are older, and the risk of this illness to them is very high. So, today's daily devotion, I want to read it again. I lost it. I lost the page. How does your present way of life need to change? Speaker in silences, spin my heart into your silence as I come before you. May I be one with the life of the universe in every breath I take. As the day brightens and the morning sings its lovely song, I turn to you, teacher of my soul. Reveal to me the answer of this day's melody. I remember all innocent victims of abuse, neglect, and violence. May a father's protection rescue them from danger, and may a mother's love heal them from their hurts. May the support of friends restore their confidence to live with joy. May I be prepared to set aside or change the plans of this day to follow the urgings of my spiritual service. May I be ever ready to dance with the spinner of the universe to enter into the blessed land of youth. I go forth today under the powers of the planets, growth of the moon, energy of Mars, beauty of Venus, speed of Mercury, majesty of Jupiter, glory of Sun, silence of Saturn, innovation of Uranus, infinity of Neptune, 9 bright stars to encircle my soul from day spring to nightfall. You know, I posted a daily devotional a couple years ago about how, we really do need to reduce the population of the earth, and Mother Earth will do something about it eventually. And, it may come down to that some of us don't make it, because we do need to reduce the population of the earth, and we do need to look at our resources, and we do need to look at how we're consuming. And I don't want to die, but I know that I'm immune compromised, and I'm not just immune compromised in one way. I have a list. Yay. And that list makes me a vulnerable population. But while I can, and while I'm in the means to do so, I want to help others who are immune compromised. And that is why I stay at work. I mean, I could very easily pack my stuff, get in my car, and go home. And it is very likely that I would contract the illness quickly. And it is likely that it could kill me. Because I am also in that population of people that healthcare workers don't want to see me coming. I'm a very difficult case. And to add that on top of COVID, that wonderful governor, senator, whoever he is out of Texas is like, let's just get rid of the weak people that are dead weight. I'm not dead weight. I do contribute. But I also know that health-wise, if I didn't do all the things that I did, I could be dead weight, and I don't want to be that person. So if it came down to it, and Goddess took me back to her womb, and I was called back to the stars, and I got to go home, I would be okay with that. I'm not holding on to this life with both hands screaming and yelling, no, don't let go. I think that I still have things to contribute. I don't feel like I'm dead weight. I don't feel like I am a useless person in this world. But it is also very much my philosophy that should I get it and should I die, it's okay. It's not a terrible, terrible thing that happened. I have no more gift or skill in any one category that makes me an exceptional loss to society. And I'm okay with that. I will continue to strive to give of myself, contribute, and be a valuable member of my community. I have a very different perspective of death, and I have a very different perspective of spirituality than a lot of people, and I know that because I listen to other people talk, and I listen to other people's philosophy, and I listen to other spiritual advisors, and I listen to what they say and what they don't say. And I listen to people who have clout and prestige within our communities, and they all have something very much in common. They are terrified of what could come. And I'm not afraid. And sometimes I really want to go home. And that's okay. We all have our unique perspective, which is what makes the world go round, and it's not a bad thing. I do a lot of meditation. I did some yoga last night. I'm very much at peace with what may come. I don't want to suffer. I've had asthma my whole life, and probably one of the most terrifying experiences is when you can't breathe. And from what I understand of this illness, this is a very common way that the illness hits. It goes to the lungs. It focuses on the lung tissue. And not being able to breathe is more terrifying than just going to sleep and dying. So that's the part that I don't look forward to. if that should happen. So I'm going to stay safe. I'm not going to leap out the door and go risk myself right away. But I am telling you that it's okay to be afraid if you are afraid. And it's okay to know that you're not ready to die. And that's okay too. And it's okay to be afraid for your fellow man. I am too. And these are all okay things. So I want you to know that you're not alone. I think that's the biggest thing. Have a beautiful day. I will see you tomorrow in prayer. And remember, today's theme is, what part of your life do you want to change? Do you want to go back to the old way of doing things? If you don't, this is your opportunity to make that change happen. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.